Engage fluo injectors.
Engaging fluo injectors.
Fluo reactors at 80%, sir.
Fluo containment field is destabilizing.
Emergency fluo containment protocols now. All hands brace for impact.
Brace for impact in 3, 2, 1.
Hooray! We're back with another episode of World 101 Podcast. Self-shameless promotion shit. Podbean at world11podcast.podbean.com, all spelled out, all one word. Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Podchaser, Podknife, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, that's it.
Choose your fighter!
I am, as always, your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me tonight is the king of snacks, Michael.
Delicious.
What are you eating? Is that a hot dog?
That's a bagel with a cheese whiz. What?
How does Cheese Whiz go with bagel?
It's an onion bagel. It's fucking cheese. Cheese goes with everything. Don't judge me. Plus, I've seen you eat hot garbage before.
Yeah, but my hot garbage makes sense.
This is actually good. You should try it. By the
All
way,
right, I will take that challenge.
when you started the the shameless promotion, you paused for a minute. I was really hoping that was just going to be it. It's just like a minute of nothing.
Oh, holy shit. So, brass tacks tonight, because we're going to button this week's show a little quicker than normal. So let's get straight to...
Oh my gosh!
Video games. Michael, what are you eating?
Well, we just discussed that. Okay. I haven't really had time to play many video games recently, okay?
Welcome
Just
to
tonight.
my life.
Yeah. Well, I've been watching Farscape, and as I said, I finished Farscape, started Bob's Burgers, and while that's going, since it's a cheesy cartoon, and I don't really have to pay super close attention to it, I pulled out my Switch and was just fucking with it. And I decided to try out a couple... Huh?
The things that it's great for.
Yeah. When I decided to try out a couple games that I just kind of bought on super sale. Like the first one I tried was called Defunct.
Ooh, I like Defunct.
I didn't really care for it. Like I get what they're going for.
It takes a little getting used to.
Yeah, I get what they're going for. I'm not interested in sinking the time into it.
Yeah.
The other one that I tried,
For what you paid for it, though, you can't be mad.
Exactly. I paid, I think, like 50 cents. I don't care.
Right.
You remember a couple weeks ago when I told you I accidentally bought a game trying to back out of something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I tried the game tonight, and it's something I think you'd really enjoy.
What is it?
It's called Ding Dong XL, okay? Which
I've seen that around.
Yeah, it was 4 fucking cents, okay? It's literally, it's a rhythm style game like those kind of games you like, with the geometric shapes, and they're literally just going left to right, right to left, in a row, in a straight cross pattern, and you have this little nub at the very top of the screen and a little nub at the bottom, and your R trigger shoots the little ball thing to the other side. And the goal is don't fucking hit anything. And it's got like a techno beat going to it. There's little tricks, like there are things that you can collect that give you different like power-up type things. Like one of them will slow everything way down except for your little icon thing. Another explodes everything on the screen except for you. Just all kinds of shit. Like one of them made me invincible to where you literally crush through everything. You have the ability that every thing that's moving has a tracer, basically, right?
Right.
And if you time it just right and have your little ball thing pass through the tracer, it'll give you bonus points, basically. And the goal is just get as many points as you can. Like, get as many passes as you can, basically, back and forth.
Okay.
As I said, 4 cents, I think you'd really like it.
I'm here for it.
It's very mindless. but the soundtrack actually wasn't bad too. What little I played I think maybe half an hour of it, but yeah, it was not bad. So, for a fucking mistake, I kind of enjoyed it.
Those are always good mistakes.
That's it.
Okay. So let's see. What have I been piddling around with? So I introduced somebody to a robot named Fight, which is always a good time. I spent a little bit of time twiddling with Dead Cells because, that's like a default boredom game that I don't have to think about. And then I thought, because this will be news to you, I haven't shared this a whole lot, but we're back on quarantine again because somebody was a fucking shithead on Friday.
Wait, what's going on?
So, here's the story as it goes. Friday, Zoe and I got together with a couple of friends, a couple of her friends. I was meeting people for the first time, hooray. Anyways, so, decent night, fun was had, yada, yada, yada. I go to work on Monday, right? I get a text message from one of them because, as it happens, one of them was supposed to start work as a new employee of mine. Didn't even come as a referral from Zoe. It was by pure dumb happenstance. But in any case, she was supposed to start with me on Tuesday, and so I got a message from her on Monday that says apparently that not her, but the other two that we were together with on Friday were showing symptoms. We're not feeling well. We're getting tested, and that apparently one of those two had a coworker that fucking tested positive less than a week ago, but did not fucking disclose this information beforehand.
Awesome.
So my boss is sitting right next to me as I get this message. I show it to him. I'm like, all right, you know what I know, your call. He's like, I'm going to get a hold of HR. Gets back to me 2 minutes later. HR says, go home and get tested.
Fucking awesome.
So I got tested on Monday, and I'm waiting for results somewhere around the end of this week. So I'm sitting at home again for a week, like, twiddling my fucking thumbs. So I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to play a new damn game out of my backlog. So this is in between, like, Zoe, kind of, enjoying Zoe, trying out a bunch of new stuff with her Switch, because we finally got her situated with a new Switch to replace the janky one that's going back and she's getting refunded, which I got her a better price on the newer model with the better battery.
Nice.
And it was an actual new factory sealed, so yeah.
Where'd you find that?
I just did a little scouring on Facebook.
Nice.
So, anyways, plus it was local, so it didn't have to wait for it to ship it.
Nice.
Like, I went with her, I could literally verify the merchandise before the payment was made. Dude was really chill about it. So,
sounds
very
good.
nice. Yeah, no, everything actually turned out well. I was pleased. Anyways, so got her started on a couple of new games. She's starting to sink into Okami and really enjoying it.
Understandable.
A couple of others. Yeah, no, I mean, how do you not, right?
Right.
It's Okami. So
I really need to go back and do the second one. I literally played the first
the one on the
20
DS? Yeah, I need to get my hands on that, actually.
I've played the first 20 minutes of it and then put it down and just never picked it back up.
Yeah, that's one of the few DS games missing out of my collection that I want. But that's neither here nor there. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to fucking crack something out of my backlog that I haven't touched yet and give it some goddamn love already. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Here's a chancy one. Because I'm like, it's a card thing, but LeGrew's like, you'll like it probably. And I picked it up physical because I caught a good deal on it. I'm like, you know what? Full price, I can't justify this. The sale price was like half off, so I think it was like $20, maybe 20 and change, whatever. And I'm like, I'm willing to take that gamble on a maybe. So I popped in Slay the Spire.
I've heard good things.
It's fucking choice. So Slay the Spire has kind of a Dead Cells feel, but in like card game format. So let me break down the card game element for you real quick here, because this is probably the best explanation I can get. It's the explanation I've been using all along so far, with a couple of people that I've tried to explain it to. So Hearthstone is Magic the Gathering Light, right?
Okay.
Slay the Spire is Hearthstone Light. It's
Okay.
like, yeah. So whereas Hearthstone is about half as complicated as Magic, Slay is about half as complicated as Hearthstone. Now, on top of that, Hearthstone has some other cool shit going for it that kind of like relates it to Dead Cells. So it's a roguelike, so it plugs you in and it gives you a randomly generated map of a couple of different courses you can take to get to, you know, the end of each act, and like each battle or sequence thing that you go through is, you know, working your way up a floor, yada yada yada. And, you know, you've got like your basic enemy encounters, and then you've got like the elites. There's campfires where you can either make the choice to rest and recoup some health, or if you're feeling really confident or you're sitting real comfortable on your HP, you can smith one of your cards in your deck, which will upgrade that card for the rest of your run. I'd say there's no deck building, but that's not exactly accurate. It's close to accurate, but not exactly accurate. So it has deck building in the sense that when you start a run, you start with a real simple baseline deck that's got like multiples of 2, 3, maybe 4 cards in it, right? And they're just basic shit. And the more you play, the more cards you can add into your deck. And along the way, like I said, you can upgrade most of them. A couple cards have like the ability to be upgraded multiple times even, so forth and so on. On occasion, if you get to a merchant, not only can you buy cards and extra potions and stuff to hold on to, but you can also have you can pay the merchant to remove some cards from your deck that you want gone, if they're not jiving well with your mix. But it's real quick, and it's simplistic enough in its mechanics. And granted, I fully admit, disclaimer here, I come from a background, I grew up playing Magic. But it's simplistic enough that there was no tutorial. I just kind of looked at it and went, okay, I get it. Let's play. And I've been playing it all fucking weekend and week.
Oh, you have to let me check it out sometime.
You
Here's what
absolutely should.
I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I'm not really a card game kind of guy.
You don't
So-
have to. And the nice thing is, too, is it's simple enough that you can kind of play it in the background without thinking about it. It's a good boredom game. And unlike Hearthstone, it's not timed, so you don't have to sit there and rush your choices. You can just kind of let it sit for a minute if you need to walk away or whatever else. It's like the perfect, like, in the background game that you don't need to think real hard on. But there is some stuff in there that, like, if you do want to think, you know, put some thought into it, you can pull off some really brilliant combos and become, like, really efficient at it if you play your cards right, so to speak. Literally and figuratively. Yeah, it was too good not to pass up. Anyways, but I'm really fucking digging it. Like, there's a cat in my window. Stupid cat. Apparently the cat has recently decided he wants to be an indoor-outdoor cat instead of just an indoor cat.
Okay,
So
you don't have cats.
no, but Zoe does.
Oh, okay.
Zoe does. She's got that cat Butters. So, anyways, but you've got a couple of like layers of turns essentially. So, working your way up from the smallest increment to the bigger increments, there's your individual turn, then there's combat, and so, you know, like if something says apply, you know, this effect lasts for the remainder of combat, it lasts for the remainder of that encounter. If something says, you know, till the end of your turn, it stops at the end of your current turn in that combat. That one took me a second to kind of wrap my head around because there was no tutorial to say that combat refers to this, turn is this. But I played with it, you know, a little bit. I'm like, okay, I get it, I got it. You get some stuff that you can, like, that are one-time use, but you can hold them between, like, carry them through multiple combats and hold them until you want to use them. So, like, you can hold them for elites or for boss fights at the end of acts, which is going to be like the potions. And then I have quite happily discovered, too, that while there's not, like, different colors like there are in Magic or even, say, Hearthstone, there are a couple of different characters that all play very differently by their baseline abilities that also affect how you're going to... So you can pick the character that fits your playstyle, and their card sets that become available to them as you go along, are going to fit into that particular style of play. So, like, there's a basic, like, warrior characters, what you start with. Play around, play a run or two with him, and you'll unlock the next one, which is kind of like this poison assassin type dude, who the best thing I could equate him to is like playing a black deck in Magic. Your warrior character is a lot more like playing a red deck. And then I've also picked up the third character I've unlocked is like a combat robot thing, and he's got some really neat mechanics to him that the others don't. He's kind of like playing like blue artifact in Magic is the best way I can explain him. So, but no, there's some really cool stuff in there. There's some neat depth if you want to dig into it, but you don't have to. It can be as shallow as you want it to be, or as deep as you want it to be. So, but no, a really solid game, excellent investment. I'm glad I pulled the trigger on it. And had I been able to try it first, I probably would have been happily willing to pay full price on it instead of waiting for a sale to take the gamble.
Well, some of the stuff you were just telling me about how this game plays and the things that you're enjoying about it, I think you want to give Battle Chasers a try.
Okay.
I know you're not really a role-playing game kind of guy.
Yeah.
But, like, the game is very, like, mechanics-oriented per each character. Like, each character has very different mechanics of how they attack, how they defend, and, like, perfect example is, like, you go into battle and there's, like, one character who he's got two different main attacks, right? He's got his standard attack, which just does straight damage, okay? Then the other one does, I think, a third of the damage, but also poisons them. And the game relies a lot on, like, status effects and things like that. Basically, you want to kind of have a build that you're going to be able to wade into battle and, throw a bunch of shit out that basically damage over time is going to end up killing the enemy before they get more than a couple hits on you. Because every enemy in the game hits like a truck. It wasn't a bad game. I'm a big fan of the comic book, too. And, I'm a big fan of the artist that, well, obviously, it's Joe Mad, the guy who did all the art for Darksiders. But, like, I've been into his stuff even predating Darksiders, just because I really liked his artwork.
Right.
But the Battle Chasers story it's a great D&D style story that he never finished. He literally started really strong, and then he is notorious for kind of, going heavy at first and then just losing interest and kind of just fucking off on it. And as I said, he never finished it. That was actually part of the whole Kickstarter for the Battle Chasers game, was he was going to go back and finish the comics, and that shit ain't happened. But but yeah, the game it's a side story in the actual canon, and it's pretty well done. It's worth checking out, especially if you can find it pretty cheap.
Okay. Keep my eyes peeled.
Yeah. As I said, I'd let you borrow it, but I know you don't have a PlayStation, so.
Right, that's also a thing. Though LeGrew's apparently still trying to work on that.
Well, if it happens, I'll own you mine.
Right.
Which, by the way, speaking of which, I threw money at a Kickstarter for a game called Sea Rats.
Yeah, I've been looking at that. I'm undecided.
Yeah, they said Metroidvania, and then I watched the animation. I was like, all right, I'm in.
See, I'm there for the gameplay. I'm there for the animation. It's just that like the theme setting doesn't have a major appeal for me.
I can understand that. Like I said, I have no like. I like the fact that there are 4 different characters that apparently you can choose from or whatnot.
Yeah.
By the time the game comes out, I'll have completely forgotten about it, and it'll be a nice little surprise when it shows up.
Aren't those fucking great though?
They really are. Kickstarter's great for that. Indivisible was like that. I completely
Not
forgot.
gonna lie, like everything that I order from like LRG, Specialist, or all that all just kind of falls into that category a lot of times. Package shows, I'm like, ooh, which reminds me, my copy of Graceful Explosion Machine showed up today.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, let me see what that is sometime, too.
Absolutely, dude. It's fantastic. It's like a semi-sorta twin-stick shooter, but not really.
Mm.
And again, it's one of the few games I actually, like, back in the day, I actually wrote a nice, solid, full review on. I'll have to see if I can dig it up. I may actually, if I can dig that up and the other couple of reviews I wrote, I may actually repost them on our Podbean feed.
Not a bad idea. You gotta throw them on the Facebook, too.
That's where they were originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I was under the impression this was old enough that it was on, what was it you were on a long time ago?
Archive? Or are you talking back on Shout Engine?
Predating all that crap. I'm talking 10 years ago.
Oh, way back.
Yeah.
Back when I used to write stuff, just like in the C blogs on Destructoid.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was Destructoid or not. So.
Yeah, Destructoid led to me doing some published work briefly on a now defunct site called Game Observer.
I remember that.
Yep. Which I actually still have all those articles. I may dig those up and just republish them on the Podbean feed. I'll have to do some poking around, but I think I can get to all of them still if I do a little digging.
Doug.
I'll give it some thought. Maybe tomorrow while I've got some time and I'm working on some stuff and I'm waiting on shit to render.
Yeah. You're filing for unemployment, right?
I don't have to. I'm getting paid.
Oh, sweet.
Work paid me last time. They're paying me this time.
Not bad. I keep begging people at work. Like,
Well, the fact that they said you can't come back until you get tested.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as you get a negative result, you're back. Let's go. Because they don't want me gone any longer than I have to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
I keep trying to tell everybody at work, look, if you come back positive, come in. I want a hug.
Right.
I want like a week or 2 off.
Yeah.
But.
So. But yeah. But I'll see about digging some of that up.
I think you should. I said because a lot of it was really well written. I said it's been millennia, so.
Right. So I think I actually may have started working on that project a while back. I just didn't get the time to get to finish it. But in any case, so yeah, no, Graceful Explosion Machine is one I think you probably dig. It's
I don't know, man. I'm not into shooters much, and like twin stick shooters. As I said, they were fun in the arcade.
Twin stick is a bit of a misnomer. Like you said, it's kind of twin stick, but it's not really.
Yeah. Well, as I said, those kind of games tend to I miss the arcades, like shit like Total Carnage and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but,
this is not that.
Really?
Really.
Let me look it up real fast.
So the best way I can explain it is imagine like a long corridor. That's your arena, except it doesn't stop on either end. This corridor wraps around itself. So it's one big circle that you keep going round and round in, and you're surviving like a set number of waves of enemies. And
it's you in these like diarrhea Christmas lights type games. That's not my term, by the way.
It's just aesthetically pleasing to me.
Fucking pastels.
But in any case, but no, it's not twin stick in that you're aiming around with the right stick. But you've got like 4 different weapons to switch between that all work like drastically differently. And each weapon is assigned to the face button, and depending on which way your ship is facing, left or right, dictates which way that weapon fires. But twin stick is like the closest thing I can compare it to.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Now, does this make more sense?
Yeah, a little bit. I still don't know if it'd be something I'd be into, but I'd probably give it a shot.
Dude, if you can get it digital, get it digital. It's dirt fuck cheap. You get your money's worth out of it there. It may not be one for you where it's worth buying a hard copy, which I think they're sold out now anyways, but digital, it's cheap, it's worth a couple bucks. And there's a solid amount of content there. There's good challenge, and there's enough to, for those of us that like, a good high score style game, it's got that to it as well, where it's like you can go back and replay levels to pump for a better score.
Right.
So, but no, I really enjoyed the shit out of it in the early days of the Switch. So, because that's what it released for originally was Switch.
Okay.
But yeah, but that's what I've been playing. Which means unless there's anything else you want to throw in.
No, I'm good.
Okay, you know what? No, I'll lump this in with the back half tonight. So, which means we've got a really good place to stop for a minute and say break. And we're back with the third half of the show. This week we're looking at a touch of the news desk. Something we haven't visited in a while. So earlier today, which at least today for us, I know this is coming up late because publishing has been running behind because life has been insane. But I'm hoping that Recording World tomorrow is going to be a big production day and get a whole lot of shit caught up here real fast, hopefully. But in any case, so Recording World timeline today, LRG held what would have been their E3 presser, showcasing a bunch of stuff coming up. Most of it, honestly, coming up real fucking quick. There's definitely there's a handful of to be determined stuff, and some September, October stuff. But man, most of this shit is July and August that they were showing. So
I'm bringing it back up real quick.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give the rundown here, and I want to hear from you if you're pumped, if this is one that's on your to buy list, or if you're not for me, but okay. So we're gonna open with LRG is going to be printing on the PS4 the Wii version of A Boy and His Blob in September.
Why only PS4? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that because it's already on a Nintendo platform, even though it's a couple generations ago, that's the only thing I can think of. But right now, it's only slated PS4.
Weird.
Are you buying? What's your interest level here?
I'm curious. It depends on the price, honestly, and like I said, because I've had it for the Wii forever. I think it's still shrink wrap, for fuck's sake.
If you got it for the Wii, my viewpoint would be skip and just crack it on your Wii finally.
Yeah, I don't think I actually have a Wii controller. I'm pretty sure my ex stole it.
You can get a hold of that though. And honestly, that's a Wiimote and a nunchuck is a better investment than a single game.
Nice.
You can play more games.
Yeah, but I won't. Do you know the last time I turned my PS3 on? And I've been actually actively wanting to go back through Batman Arkham Origins. I'm getting furious because it's the only one not available on the PS4. And I know a lot of people didn't like it as much, mainly because I think the different cast and whatnot, but storyline-wise, it was fucking good.
Okay.
There was a part in it where, because it's the origin of Batman and Joker meeting, and there's this whole part where he gets arrested, and he's obviously, they got him in there, and he's basically having a psych evaluation by Dr. Harleen Quinzel.
Yeah.
And she thinks he's talking about her, but he's talking about Batman the whole time, and it was so fucking good the way it was done. Like I said, there were aspects to it that I like. The experience system was very weird. Like, because unlike the other ones where you got to pick and choose your new moves or whatever, this one had a very specific path that you had to follow. And, like, it wasn't just you get the points, you unlocked it. It was, you have to do these specific things to unlock this next one. And then, you know, it's progressive based, basically. It was very weird.
Okay.
But,
Alright.
anyway.
So this is a maybe?
This is definitely a maybe. You know, like I said, it depends on the price. I may just buy it digital, because, like, you know, it's one of those games I'm sure I'll play once at most and never touch it again.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's solidly a feel-good game, if nothing else. But I will say the puzzling is definitely challenging.
Yeah. I never played the original either. Like, I've actually never seen the original. Like, nobody I knew ever had it.
I've seen it. I've played it. So.
I do remember scouring all the info about it in Nintendo Power when I was a kid. Like, I remember they posted a list of what each Jelly Bean did, and I was fascinated by the concept. But
and that all still held up in the new one.
Did it?
It did. The animation in the new one is gorgeous too.
Yeah.
So, all right. So next on our list, this is definitely going to be in your wheelhouse. I feel. It's a to be determined date. Going to be hitting. They're going to be printing for both PS4 and Switch. Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon 2.
I will probably end up getting this one, just because I have the first one. I have, you know, as I said, I have both Bloodstained and Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon. Curse of the Moon was okay, but it was very short. And it was much more linear than Ritual of the Night was.
Yeah, well, the curse game was made to be more NES-ish than So it's definitely very like Castlevania 1 homage,
right?
Whereas Bloodstained is, you know, very Symphony of the Night homage.
Mm-hmm.
So
Bloodstained was well done. It just, I am not as much of a fan of the what they call the 2.5D graphics, where everything is rendered like 3D rendered, but it's on a 2D scale.
Okay. See, that's never been the definition of 2.5D for me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I've always heard it called.
See, what you're referring to as 2.5D to me is just, you know, polygonal versus pixelated.
Okay.
Whereas for me, what I've always referred to as 2.5D would be like Rayman or Super Metroid, where there's layers to the visual of, you know, foreground, midground, background, like way background, and how they kind of like parallax scroll. That's always been 2.5D to me.
I could see that, but as I said, like ever since I think it was Mega Man X8 was the first one that they did the you know, it was a 2D side scroller, but everything was, you know, polygonally rendered.
Yeah.
And that's where I first heard it called the 2.5D. Which, as I said, I'd ran, like, if you're gonna do something like that, if you're gonna do a 2D platformer type game, just do it sprites. It'll be so much prettier, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Alright. So, what do we think? You buying? You passing?
Yeah, almost guaranteed.
You gonna go Switch or PS4? I'm curious on this one.
Switch, just because that's the one I have the other Curse of the Moon on.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think my Ritual of the Night is that one's PS4, but yeah.
All right, so here's another one to be determined on date. We're hitting Switch and PS4. Bug Fables: The Everlasting Sapling.
I am very curious about this game I've watched quite a few reviews and quite a bit of gameplay. I'm not entirely sure how interested I am, because it seems to take aspects from a bunch of different games. It's very, from what I understand, like kind of Paper Mario-ish, and the Paper Marios never really did much for me. But at the same time, like, I like the aesthetic, I like the concept of the bugs, and I'm thinking that may be a holdover from Hollow Knight, but I don't know. So again, this one, like, for the physical, it depends entirely on the price.
Yeah, I'm feeling like this is a pass for me. It's not my wheelhouse. Like, the only Paper Mario that ever really grabbed my attention was Super Paper Mario on the Wii, because it leaned more platformy than it was RPG.
The origami one is like catching my interest, but I think that's just because I like origami. And
Sometimes that's a good enough reason.
as I said, like, for one, I'm not that huge into the Mario games to begin with.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Let's see here. So this is not coming from LRG, but they did feature several titles that are going to be coming from other limited print companies to, kind of give a signal boost to their fellow limited folk. This one, the date is still listed as to be determined, but they are saying that the date is coming here shortly, and it should be a by the end of summer thing. So it's one that you and I are very excited for.
I'm double dipping on this one all over the place. Like, I'm gonna buy a physical as soon as it's available, and I'm buying the fucking physical as soon as I can. Because, yes, and yes, yes.
Let's get it out there. Coming for the Switch, Carrion.
Yeah, it looks so fucking pretty.
Waiting
John Carpenter's
for
The Thing
this since
simulator.
last year.
Yeah. It's like
Over
John
a
Carpenter's
year.
The Thing simulator, and I
Right.
need this.
So yeah, you and I are both all over that shit like shit on Velcro.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so next one I suspect is probably going to be one that is on your to buy list. Ooh, this surprises me. The Castlevania Anniversary Collection.
The early Castlevanias, like, as much as I appreciate what they've done for the genre, are boring as shit for me to play.
There's one or two of there that have particularly caught my interest.
Which are?
Very specifically, the big highlight for me is Bloodlines.
Bloodlines was fucking good. There's the one on Genesis.
Yeah.
And that one was really fucking
Bloodlines
good.
is in there.
But that was also the last of the classic ones that I actually gave a shit about. Then, as I said, I hadn't played one in forever, and then someone handed me Symphony of the Night, and I was gone. Like, plus, as I said, I'm still kind of pissed off about the issues I ran into with the Symphony of the Night that I just recently downloaded. That they changed all the voices, and nothing sounds right. Just
Yeah. Which that
Although
makes me wonder if that's part of the reason why Symphony is not included in this.
quite possible. It also may be because, since this is the anniversary collection, they're kind of going with the classic style exclusively. Because isn't Rondo of Blood involved in this anniversary collection?
I don't remember if it is or isn't. I know Kid Dracula is.
Is it really?
It is!
Huh.
So Kid Dracula and Bloodlines, that's a goofy enough combo, I think, to merit a purchase.
Nah. It's one of those, if I could find it for $10 physical, I'd be all over it, but that's about it. Like I said, this isn't one that's gonna make me, like, waiting for it and shit like that.
Oh, I'm on the fence here myself. Like, honestly, I could really kind of go either way. But, so, rolling down the line here. Next up, coming to the Switch with a to-be-determined date. Oh, that's right. Castlevania is a Q3 this year. So with a to-be-determined date, next up for the Switch only from LRG is Demon Turf.
I have no idea what that is.
I remember seeing it, and I think it looked interesting, but I honestly don't remember if it's the one that I'm thinking of, because honestly, they kind of threw a whole lot at you today. But in any case,
Demon Turf launch.
yeah.
Trippy looking title with 2D characters in a 3D world. Kills two birds with a... Yeah, I don't give a shit. Just show me what I'm looking at. Images! Yeah. The
But yeah,
character looks cute until you see her in the game. It's a
right.
3D platformer. At least that's what it looks like. Like
Okay,
Banjo and Kazooie or shit like that.
right.
Pass.
We'll see. So, let's see here. Next is on the PS4, coming this month in July, is Guru Mark of the Wolves.
Possible. I need to research more into what that is too.
Okay. So, that's going to be a pass for me, because no PlayStation.
You need to
Here's...
you need to get with the times and fix that.
Take it up with LeGru.
Or you can be an adult and buy your own fucking video game system. Yes, I get the irony in that sentence. Standard nerds.
I have other things I'm buying. Thank you very much. Let's see here. So here's one that I'm curious if this is got a nostalgia factor for you or not, because I don't think it's one that you've ever really talked about, but I could see it being one that you'd dig. The Grandia HD collection coming to Switch August 7th. No, not a Grandia fan?
No. I
Okay.
bought one a long time ago, got about 10 minutes into it, and just got sidetracked and never picked it back up. It looks
Okay.
like Garu Mark of the Wolves is an old-style 2D fighter.
Ooh, this could be fun.
Yeah, Neo Geo.
Okay. Okay. So, real quick highlight though. The Grandia HD collection does have both Grandia 1 and Grandia 2 in HD remaster coming to the Switch. So, let's see, So, let's see, coming up next, I've got my copy already, so this is the pass for me. I know Zoe's excited because she's going to get a copy, and she's very jazzed about this. This is one that's caused a lot of uproar in the physical community here recently, is the non-numbered repressing of Gris coming from Special Reserve.
What do you mean non-numbered?
So the original pressing of Gris from Special Reserve games were individually, sequentially numbered.
Okay.
So this is the second pressing that they're doing, and it will not be numbered. It won't have everything that the first pressing did to kind of set it apart and go, we want it to be accessible because there's a way higher demand for this than anybody anticipated. And a bunch of people are all getting butthurt about it. A bunch of other people are like, look, I don't see what your fucking problem is. More people getting to play the game is a good thing. And so you can really tell the people that are, upset at the concept of their collection being devalued because they're in it for the monetary value of their collection versus, building a beautiful library of games that mean something to them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I still need to go back and play that one. I started it and I just wasn't in the right headspace for it.
I feel you. You can get yourself in the right headspace with like a day, you can rip through the whole thing in a sitting.
I said, what little I played reminded me quite a bit of Journey.
I can see that.
Journey was fantastic.
So, but no, Gris is a winner, and for anybody that missed out on it, I do highly recommend get yourself a copy. And again, even though we're talking LRG, this is another one they were signal boosting from Special Reserve. That second pressing is going to go on sale on, I believe, the 27th of this month. So, here's what I am super pumped about because I think the game is fucking fantastic. The story's really cool. It's definitely kind of like weird, psycho, trippy story thing going on. is coming up for the Switch in November is going to be Katana Zero.
Not for me.
No?
No, I said you let me try it, and I couldn't fucking figure it out.
Fair.
And it got frustrating pretty quick, so it's like, nope, I'm done. What I really
Okay.
want to see, because it reminded me a lot of the dishwasher. Like,
Yeah.
and I really would like to see the dishwasher brought back. Because those
Amen.
were fantastic. Those were hard
Give
as
me a-
shit.
Yeah,
But-
give me a physical of the Dishwasher collection. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So, coming up next, actually already currently on sale in open pre-order through Limited Run's distribution line is, super excited because friends of the show, Kunai on the Switch.
I may end up getting that one. Like, I have it digitally already.
I do
And
too, but
I started
never
it.
stopped us.
We're good little consumer whores. Shut up and take my monies.
There's our episode title, Good Little Consumer Whores.
Uh-huh. I has all this money burning holes in my pocket. I need stuff.
Right.
But yeah, like, listen, I played a good solid hour and a half of it, and again, sidetracked, other stuff, started playing something else. I got way too many games on my Switch like that. I love the Switch's sales, but man, they're brutal because
Right.
so much shit on. Like, I still need
The
to go.
Switch sales will literally nickel and dime you.
Yeah.
Because you'll see something for 5 cents, 10 cents.
Well, you know what pisses me off? Listen, I have all three systems, right? All three
Yeah.
major systems. So I'll look periodically, like, what's on sale on PlayStation? And I'm looking through the sales and go, you call that a sale, bitch? I
Right.
get so fucking mad because
We've been
20%
ruined.
off of a $20 game. Like, no, fuck you. That's not a game. You know, I mean, that's not a sale, you piece of shit. It's like when I worked at the mall, my store used to give us 50% off discounts. And now then I hear people like, well, you get 10% off at Walmart or whatever. It's like, that's nothing. They don't like you.
Right.
But,
You're not hurting them.
yeah. But yeah,
Uh, so here's one, and I've got to do some digging on it because I don't know a whole lot of details on it. I don't remember a whole lot on it from the presser earlier today. This is another one coming from their distribution line, which is this name just makes me giggle. Mega Dimension Neptunia 7 on the Switch.
it's a Japanese role-playing game from Hyperdimension Neptunia series of the role-playing games for the PS4 and Windows. Probably, yeah, no, probably not.
Yeah,
It looks really pretty, but meh.
you lost me at role playing.
Holy shit.
All right.
It looks very much like an all-girl version of some of the Persona games, to be honest.
Huh. Well, I suspect there's solidly a market.
Oh, I'm sure.
So,
Yeah. It looks like that's exactly what it looks like. I'm sure it's good, but it's not for me.
right, and there's nothing wrong with that. So next on the list, one that I suspect is probably much more in your wheelhouse, coming to Switch and PS4 August 28th, Mighty Gunvolt Burst.
That's a possibility. Like, I've got a couple of the Gunvolt games, and they're decent, but I haven't had time to really sink my teeth into them. And I know, like, they kind of took over the Mighty Number 9 character. Because obviously his own personal game was hot garbage.
Right.
Which still very sad to me. It should have been good.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it is what it is. I kind of wish Capcom would just go back and give me another Mega Man X game.
yeah, that's not going to happen.
I don't know.
Know that by now.
There's been rumors of it. Like, there's been talk here and there of another Mega Man X. Like, what's never going to happen is I'm never going to get another ZX game. Because those were actually way better than I expected them to be.
Yep.
Like, I loved the Zero games. I loved the ZX games. I mean, they weren't obviously without their flaws, but anyway, as I don't know a lot about the Gunvolt games. I have one or two of them. I don't even remember which ones I have.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out like where they all line up together.
Yeah,
That's been my big stopping point, personally.
I think it's kind of like the Shantae games. Like, they're all over the place, and each one is slightly different from the other, but...
Right. Okay.
So it's possible.
Yeah. So, distribution line here again. This goes back to... no, I take it back. This... I don't remember who's... This might be Special Reserve again, but it's only PS4. Is My Friend Pedro. I know Special Reserve did the Switch version, but
Isn't that the Bullet Time Banana game?
yes, it is.
Okay. That again depends on price, because I've been interested in it for a while, but I don't know. Like,
Right.
I'm sure it's one of those ones I'd fiddle around with for a little bit and then be like, whatever.
Yeah, because My Friend Pedro, I know, is getting a reprint or a second pressing from Special Reserve, same as Gris. But I thought it was both Switch and PS4, but maybe not. I don't know. I'll have to double check. Here's one that I know I've seen on the eShop, and I actually never really looked at, but I do remember seeing the footage earlier today going, okay, I'm actually interested. I need to find out more now. Is Observer on Switch, which is coming with a to-be-determined date and as part of their distribution line.
I have no idea what that is either.
I'm not sure that I could entirely explain it, but it what I saw interested me. So there's that.
I think I do remember you talking about this one, but I'd have to see it.
So, I do recommend at least take a look at the footage that they showed, and it might catch your interest. But in any case, let's see what's next on the list. For the Vita, on July 24th, Papers, Please.
The Vita? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know the Vita was still a thing.
Uh-huh.
Like, I know it's apparently a decent system, but...
Still a thing.
Hmm.
LRG has really been kind of the last big bastion for the Vita. They've done a lot to breathe the second life into the Vita as well.
I'm disappointed I actually never got a chance to fiddle with one. I actually bought a game for it once, not realizing it was for the Vita only, and because obviously I didn't have a Vita, like, I never actually got to play it. It was called Nun Fight.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
It looked so fun. It looked very Scott Pilgrim, but with nuns with guns. So,
I support all of this.
uh-huh.
So, let's see here. Following that, wait, come to Switch. Yep, with the to-be-determined date, Pixel Junk Eden 2.
I don't know what those are. Like, I know they exist. I know they've been PlayStation thingies for a long time, but I never actually looked at any of them.
I've looked at some of it, and the thing is like, a lot of those Pixel Junk games are kind of all over the map in terms of what they're, like, where they sit in terms of gameplay.
What do you mean?
Like, it's not just like one series of, it's all about this kind of gameplay series. Think more like Bit Trip, where each game is all about a whole different type of genre.
Okay. Pretty sure I have a couple different demos on my PS3 that I never actually went and tried out.
Okay. Let's see. Next we've got... I'm personally super excited for this one. Coming to Switch and PS4 on July 24th. Like, why is it all the ones that I'm really hyped for are, like, all in the next month? Like, fuck my wallet. Is incoming. Return of the Obra Dinn. Yeah, buddy.
Is that the Mummy one?
No. We'll get there.
Oh, that's
No,
on your-
Return of the Obra Dinn is like this huge murder mystery thing with.
Oh, that's right. I remember what this.
Yeah,
is.
it's that like big monochromatic, like
Yeah.
weird. Yeah, that's Return of the Obra Dinn. I am fucking here for it. Abso-goddamn-lutely.
Not really my cup of tea, but
It's normally not mine either, but man, it's fucking hooked me.
it looks pretty.
It's really good. It's very clever.
I find it interesting how many games are doing that different aesthetic like that. The very simple aesthetics and stuff like that.
Yep.
Anyway,
So coming up next here with a to-be-determined date is River City Girls 0.
what's the
So-
zero?
As in, like, 0? As in before 1?
Asshole. No, I get that. What I'm saying is, is it the same one that's currently available digitally, or
I'm guessing so. If that's River City Girls 0,
I don't think that's actually called Zero, though. That's what I'm trying to
then
figure
this is
out.
going to be a different one then.
Web search. River City Girls 0. Yeah, it says a new River City Girls game. So maybe it's a prequel or some shit. I don't know.
Probably.
Because River City Girls actually looks interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a possibility. So I still haven't gotten around to checking out the first one. I think I'm waiting on a sale for it.
Okay. So past that is one that I wish I was more excited for, but I'm not, because I really wanted this game to look great and be great, but it looks just generic. Is coming for the Switch and the PS4 at a to-be-determined date, Samurai Jack Battle Through Time.
I haven't looked at any of the visuals for it.
It
But-
looks like a real generic 3D action game.
I honestly think that kind of game generally is. Like, do you remember the Afro Samurai stuff from way back when? And how the visuals for those movies shows were so good, but then the actual gameplay was very just,
Uh-huh. Like, if the visuals were at least on par with the show, I'd be on board. Like, why is this a 3D, like, CG action game and not a gorgeous fucking 2D side-scroll with the show's art style? I will never understand.
Well, I don't understand why, they couldn't, because that art style is so simplistic.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, if they did it right, it would work very well in 3D. But they
See
just,
that too.
I don't know. I still find it really interesting that the guy who created that is the same guy that did the Hotel Transylvanias.
Oh, Gendy?
Yep.
So, let's see what else we got next on here. So, here's a real fascinating one. So, coming in September, coming to the Switch, Shantae, the original, also coming back to its original home, the Game Boy Color with physical Game Boy Color cartridges, Shantae.
I will almost guarantee pick that up, but I don't think I'm going to bother with the Game Boy cartridge.
Right.
I recently bought, what was it? Rock and Roll Racing, the Game Boy Color version of it, and I was so happy because I popped it in my Game Boy player that's attached to my GameCube, and I found out my controllers were shot.
Ooh.
Yeah, one of them drifts really bad to the right. The other one, none of the shoulder buttons worked.
Aww. Well, you could always disassemble them and, Frankenstein together one working controller.
Yeah, or just hunt down new ones.
Yeah,
But
that's not that brutal if you're willing to go wired at least.
yeah, as I said, I literally keep it for the Game Boy Player, but I couldn't tell you the last time I actually played the system other than Rock and Roll Racing.
Dude, if you're willing to come off that disc, I really want to put my Game Boy Player to work.
We could talk about it,
Deal.
because as I said, I don't mess with it, so...
Right, and that's the only reason I would even ask, is if you were screwing with it.
Right.
You
Well,
know-
worst case scenario, if I ever needed it, I could borrow it off you or whatever.
Right.
You ever tell you, one of the coolest things I ever saw someone do with the GameCube is I knew this goth girl a long time ago hollowed one out. Hollowed a GameCube
Yeah!
out and used it as a purse. It was cool as shit.
Yep.
Because her boyfriend at the time used to rebuild that kind of stuff.
Fucking love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing makes me so goddamn happy.
Yeah.
Oh. Let's see what we got next on the list.
Another Shantae.
Yep, Shantae Risky's Revenge coming to the Switch in September as well.
Probably on that also, because, as I said, I loved, I don't remember what the seven curses, not seven, I don't remember which one it is, but I really enjoyed it. Well, as I said, it was the first one I played, and it was really good. Way better than I was expecting it to be.
Mm-hmm.
I literally bought it because I thought Adriana might be interested in it, because, the being able to shapeshift into animals and stuff like that, I thought she would have fun with it. But she was negative interested in it. But I, on the other hand, was like, oh, I'm fucking 100% in this shit.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Moving out of Shantae, I was really excited until I saw the platform it was coming to. I'm like, oh, it's not for me then. Coming July 31st, Space Channel 5 VR Kinda Funky Newsflash.
Wasn't that, Saturn?
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast, something like that, yeah.
Dreamcast
That's
and
a old
PS2, yeah.
I never saw it, but,
I played it.
yeah.
I'm curious as to why they thought this had to be a VR thing.
I wonder, because a lot of these newer games that they're making VR like that, you have the option to not play it in VR. I wonder if it's going to have that option.
So, but I mean, I liked Space Channel 5. That was a thing for me back in the day.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. Closing in on the end. On sale in 2 days from recording time. Super pumped. I've been waiting for this so fucking hard. Gonna be July 10th on the Switch, the PS4, and PC. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Yeah, buddy, get it, get it.
I'm fascinated by the fact they brought it out. I'm happy, because I know a lot of people are very happy about this coming out. But if I'm going to play a racer, if I'm going to play a racer at all, other than Rock and Roll Racing, I'm going to play Wipeout. The first Wipeout game. Fucking loved the first Wipeout game, but I'm terrible at racer games. So,
if you haven't, if you can catch it on a really good sale, stick it on your wish list so you can keep a watch for it. Check out Fast RMX.
I'd have to see it.
I think you'd be feeling it. My gut says you would dig it. We actually busted that out a couple weeks ago at the house with some friends. Fast RMX is probably the closest in between of F-Zero and Wipeout. So coming up next, one that everybody's been waiting forever for, with a to-be-determined date, coming to Switch and PS4, Super Meat Boy Forever.
Man.
I'm pumped. I like me some Super Meat Boy.
It's a great game. It's a lot of fun. I liked N Plus more.
Okay. Now, I will say Forever seems to be doing a lot more with the formula, so you might want to take a peek at it.
Okay.
It's moved beyond just the single screen platformy. It looks like it's got a whole lot more going on to it. So, past due from Meat Boy Forever. If this is what I'm thinking of, yeah. So coming up July 21st on the Switch, The Friends of Ringo Ishikawa.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a very like Japanese business-looking 8-bit NES style 2D side-scroll River City style beat 'em up.
Have you seen?
Except the characters all look like the sidekick dude from Yu Yu Hakusho
I don't know.
with
What
like
that
the
is.
suit and the swoop hair. Yeah.
Have you seen the first Lego movie?
Oh God, yes.
Every time I hear the word business now, all I can think is that part with Unity. Business. Like, so at work, like whenever we have fucking meetings now, company-wide meetings, here I am snickering to myself because business is up. Yeah. I did not know,
Fantastic.
I did not know there was a sequel to Star Gladiator.
Alright, so here's one that you need to get hyped about, and I need to know that you're getting it finally. Because you're gonna fucking love every goddamn ounce of this game.
Well, along those lines, have I mentioned how much I like presents?
Yeah. Well, let's see, depending on the when. Ooh, that's end of the month. Ooh, I'll see. Maybe we could work out a trade for that Game Boy disc. So coming up July 31st, to Switch and PS4, The Mummy Motherfucking Demastered. Yeah!
I need to mess with that one more.
No, you don't. You just need to, like, have it. You need to own it, and you need to play the fuck out of it.
Does it say when it's coming? Or it states when it's going on sale.
On sale.
Boo.
So, you know the rigmarole from there. It's LRG we're talking about here.
Fair enough.
So, but yeah, that's a must. That's absolutely a must for me on the Switch. Welcome to the Double Dip again. So, coming October for the PC only, which sounds a little weird until you realize what it is, The Secret of Monkey Island 30th Anniversary Anthology. Yeah.
Never played any of them.
Piddled around with one or two. So, it's not my thing in terms of point and click, but I can respect the hell out of it.
Monkey Island was a point and click?
Yeah.
I always thought they were platformers.
Ooh.
Like, I for some reason always thought they were like Spyro-style platformers.
No, sir. There we go. So beyond that, we're coming up on the end of the list here. I'm personally excited for this. I started playing it a while ago and I got sidelined, but I'm actually really wanting to get back to it. I may just wait now for this. Coming Q4 to the Switch, critically acclaimed indie darling tearjerker game, To the Moon.
I'd need to find out more about it.
I has it. You can piddle around with it sometime.
Okay.
The story alone, I think, will carry it for you.
Okay.
I'll say that. So this is one that I was genuinely scratching my head and screwing up my face at the reveal, because they opened up the reveal with they basically they put the fucking Ouya up on the screen. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing with the Ouya?
What's an Ouya?
You're right. Remind me later, I'll tell you this story. But yeah, the Ouya was dreamed up to be like the indie machine of its time. Back around
okay,
the
I know what you're
360.
talking
Yeah,
about.
the Ouya. There was apparently one or two little darling games on there that were particularly exceptional that got trapped there, and one of them is finally escaping its surly bonds. So, coming Q3 to the Switch, Towerfall Ascension. And also, it's getting some new content, including being able to play as Madeline from Celeste.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So,
I do love crossovers like that.
right? There's been a lot of that.
What was that fighting game recently that had Shovel Knight in it?
Oh, yeah! The name escapes me, but yes, I know what you're fucking talking about.
I wonder if that's any good.
Well, that reminds me, I think Dylan still has my copy of Shovel Knight.
Which
That
system?
dude. Switch. He's had that for fucking ever. God damn. I gotta talk to him about that. Anyways, so here's one I'm excited about. I don't know. You might be. Dylan will probably pass because he's already got it. But coming to the Switch, Q4, Trover Saves the Universe.
I've been eyeballing that one for a while. So
Yeah.
I know who did it, and I know what
Right.
it is, but I'm just not sure if it's worth playing.
Ask Dylan. He's played a bunch.
Okay.
So,
Also, bear in mind, I don't have the VR set up, and I know that game
Right.
also it has VR set, VR capabilities, but I think you can play it normally too.
well, you can now because it's coming to the Switch. So there you have it.
If that's the case, I may just wait on it then.
So coming by way of the distribution line from LRG, with a to be determined date. I'm actually kind of curious about this one. I need to do a little homework myself, but the snippet I've seen catches my interest. We're looking at an incoming game of Where the Water Tastes Like Wine.
I've never heard of it.
Do a little poking. It's 50-50 if it'll be in your wheelhouse. So, we got one more like super oddball here. Coming October 2020 to the Switch, Extreme Sports, and also coming back to its original home, the Game Boy Color. What do you think? We getting Extreme Sports?
No.
You don't need Extreme Sports in your life?
No.
Not even on your Game
Nope.
Boy Color?
Like, unless it's extreme napping, I don't give a shit. Like,
What about extreme consumerism?
I already got that one down pat on Olympic level at this point. It'd be like Olympic level snacking. Like, I'd be all over that. Yeah.
Like, watch me kill this box of Cheez-Its in 5.3 seconds flat.
Yeah. Otherwise, no, not into it.
Alright, and last up here, July 8th, distribution line, so as of today, come to the Switch, Ys Origin. Now, I've never been big on the Ys games. I will say, though, I looked at this one, and I thought, this doesn't look like standard RPG schlock, and I was actually kind of interested. But I don't know if I'm quite there to the point where I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm honestly real on the fence, and I know that there's other stuff that I am more rock solid on in this time frame where my money's going.
I'm unfamiliar with them, so probably not.
Fair enough. But that would bring us to the end of the LRG news from their presser today. As far as presentation, it was the same weird, kind of awkward, hokey that they did last year, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I do think substance-wise, there was a lot of really good stuff there. And big ups to them for signal boosting, like Special Reserve and Super Rare as well.
Yeah, that's actually really cool of them.
Mm-hmm. So, also really cool was before the show, they did like a whole, the history of LRG games and how it came to be, which I thought was really neat. So
check that out.
I recommend it. It's a really cool watch. But with that said, I think here's a great place to wrap up for the night. I'm going to throw this out here on the subject of LRG. We do have this awesome. Let me get off the shelf here. You can see because it's in hand now. This is my open copy. There is still one sealed one. We do have this here collector's edition of Blasphemous on the Switch, and we're giving away a sealed copy for free when we get to 200 followers on our Twitch channel. So you should totally go get on that action. Because,
How many are we at now? Do you know?
6 or something. But again, I have also not gotten to do a whole lot on there recently due to life. Which, like I said, if all goes according to plan, which when does it ever, though? I'm hoping to get on Friday and wrap up Ori. So that way I can try and get
forward to that. I said I can't wait to talk to you about the ending.
I know, I'm fucking dying here. It's been killing me, honestly. But in any case, so that's the thing. We've actually still got a copy of Dust and Elysian Tale to give away too. That's the thing. Details are going to be in the links in the show notes. So hit those. Real easy, free games on us, on me personally. So yeah, that's the thing. Other than that, yeah. Shout out to my homeboy Michael for hanging with me tonight and talking. And talking physical releases because hashtag hard copy hounds. Other than that,
Sounds dirty when you say it like that.
I know you love it.
I didn't say I didn't. But
So, but yeah. Other than that, say goodnight, Gracie.
no, just no.
All right,
All right.
that's it. In that case, we'll see y'all next week.
Ciao.
Peace.